What's Gucci, everybody? It's your boy, it's your friend, Ras Tien here in the building. I'm feeling good on this beautiful weekend that we're having. I hope you guys are enjoying your time. I know they got the vaccine that's coming out for COVID and whatnot. Be careful on the vaccine. You know, it's supposed to be coming from China. We don't know if we can trust it or not. But anyway, for today's topic, what I wanted to get into was putting a man to the test. Right? Now, what I mean by this topic is, usually women, you guys like to test men, right? And that's cool. You want to test us to see if we are worthy of you, right? You want to know if you've picked the right guy or not, and that's understandable. That's cool. But just know also that when it comes to tests, you're not the only one who's testing. See, just like how you interview us, we also interview you. Much like an employer interviews the employee to see if this person is the right candidate for a job, the employee is also testing the employer to see if this is a person who they want to work for, right? Because at any time, if they don't feel comfortable working with this person, they'll quit. And as men, we're the same too. So you're not the only one being interviewed. We also interview you. Now you might say, Roz, what do you mean? Interview how? Well, there are things that we look for, right? So, for example, if a woman asks a man that she barely knows for money, now, a lot of you women, you might test us to see if we will give you the money. You might not even really need the money, but you might test us to see if we'll give it to you. And 9 times out of 10, depending on if the guy really likes you, or if he just pities you, or if he really, or if he just wants to have sex, or maybe all in the above, he might give you the money, right? But just like how you're testing him to see if he'll give it to you, there are also men who would also use that as a red flag, right? Because asking someone you don't know for money is very, it's very inappropriate, right? And you see, if a woman does that, as men, we might look at that woman as being a gold digger, right? Because that woman, for all we know, she could be taking money from not just one man, but from several men. There are lots of women who come up with a sob story and say they need money for stuff like their bills or to buy milk for their kids. This is especially common in third world countries like Southeast Asia, like the Philippines, for example, or Thailand. You see women like that come up with excuses all the time, right? And another thing that leads to that is women who have a lot of misfortune. See, we also, as men, we look at that. So if a woman has, as I said before, a lot of bills, if she has like a lot of things that she has to pay for, that's another thing that we also test you on to see if you're worthy of us. Because no man wants to feel like a savior to a woman. And it's not good for us to be around people who have a lot of bad luck, because eventually that person's bad luck will rub off on us. And if a man has to deal with a woman with so much misfortune, then all of her problems will become his problem. And she'll eventually drain him out of his resources. So as men, we look at that when it comes to dealing with a woman that that has a lot of misfortune. That's one thing we also put to the test when it comes to women, because we don't want to deal with with all of your bad luck and all of your financial burdens, right? And another thing that we also test you on is seeing if you have the respect for our masculinity. See, there are a lot of you women who want to compete with men, and you want to do everything a man can do, right? You want to basically compete with your man for masculinity, right? You want to be able to do every single thing, such as if a man is in a polygamous relationship because he has multiple wives, you as a wife, if he brings up that idea to you, you think that, well, to be fair, you should have multiple husbands. And that's totally wrong, because for one, life isn't fair. Okay? And for two, you have to understand that there are certain things that women can do that men cannot do, just like vice versa. Okay? Earlier, I mentioned before a woman asking for money, right? So a woman can ask for money and no one looks down on that woman. But if a man did that, no one would respect that man, right? So that's an example of how a woman can easily do something that a man can't do. And a man doesn't want to be with a woman who makes him feel like less of a man. He doesn't want to be with a woman that thinks that she could be the man and the woman in a relationship. That's only going to work with weak men. But a strong man, a man who's not afraid of being a man, is not going to want to be with a woman like that. Okay? Because there's too much masculine energy in the room. They're going to cancel each other out. So that's one of the biggest things that we have on our checklist when it comes to testing a woman, right? And another thing that we look at is a woman's expectations. A lot of you women, you guys have very unrealistic expectations, okay? The same thing that you expect from a man, you don't even hold yourself accountable to having. There are women who I know back home in America who will make fun of a man for driving in a broken down vehicle, right? A vehicle that's not up to date. She'll say she wants a man who drives a nice car, but yet she herself doesn't even have a car. She's walking. And that man, at least, even though he doesn't have the best looking car, he approached you and asked you for a ride. And basically, you're looking down on him because of the quality of his vehicle. But you don't even hold yourself accountable and say, well, I need to have the same kind of vehicle that I expect this man to have. You'll sit up there and make fun of a man and lose respect for a man who's 26 years old, still living with his parents, right? But some of you women will be the same age and older, still living with your parents. and you don't even have a career, you just have a job. See, I would never hold anyone to an imaginary standard that I would never hold myself to. And that's the problem with a lot of you women. That's why a lot of you are still single. And that's why a lot of you will die alone, because your expectations are too high and too unrealistic. So remember, as I said earlier, you're not the only one who's testing, and you're not the only one with expectations, because unlike women, men, we have more realistic standards. And if you can't follow those standards, then you'll just end up a lonely woman. But anyway, that's all we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Look, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Okay, make sure you leave a comment down below on whatever video you want me to do next, or if you want me to do a reaction or talk about a certain topic, just let me know. All right, everybody, it's been real, but I got a jet. It's your boy Ras Tien signing out. Love, peace, and coconut grease. I'll holla.